He estado esperando.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting.
¿Has estado tú cantando en la discoteca?
Have you been singing in the disco? Have you been singing in the disco?
Él no ha estado comiendo con nosotros.
He hasn't been eating with us. He hasn't been eating with us.
¿Has estado llorando?
Have you been crying? Have you been crying?
Hemos estado viendo una película.
We've been watching a movie. We've been watching a movie.
Ellos no han estado peleando.
They haven't been fighting. They haven't been fighting.
¿Has estado tú bebiendo?
Have you been drinking? Have you been drinking?
¿Has estado tú escuchando música antes?
Have you been listening to music before? Have you been listening to music before?
Ella ha estado saltando.
She has been jumping. She has been jumping.
Ellos no han estado antes trabajando.
They haven't been working before. They haven't been working before.
Vosotros estabais estudiando cuando os vi.
You were studying when I saw you. You were studying when I saw you.
Ayer a las 10 nosotros estábamos comiendo pan.
Yesterday at 10 we were eating bread. Yesterday at 10 we were eating bread.
Cuando nosotros llegamos, ella estaba cantando.
When we arrived she was singing. When we arrived she was singing.
Ellos estaban viendo la película.
They were watching the movie. They were watching the movie.
Cuando telefoneaste, yo estaba limpiando.
When you phoned, I was cleaning. When you phoned, I was cleaning.
Cuando le vimos, él estaba corriendo.
When we saw him, he was running. When we saw him, he was running.
Hoy a las 6, ¿qué estabas tú comiendo?
Today at 6 o'clock, what were you eating? Today at 6 o'clock, what were you eating?
Él me besó mientras nosotros estábamos escuchando música.
He kissed me while we were listening to music. He kissed me while we were listening to music.
¿Estabas tú comiendo?
Were you eating? Were you eating?
Ellos no estaban llorando.
They weren't crying. They weren't crying.
Yo he estado esperándote.
I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you.
¿Has estado tú corriendo?
Have you been running? Have you been running?
Él no ha estado bailando en el parque.
He hasn't been dancing in the park. He hasn't been dancing in the park.
¿Has estado tú estudiando con ella?
Have you been studying with her? Have you been studying with her?
Ella ha estado leyendo un libro.
She has been reading a book. She has been reading a book.
Nosotros no hemos estado bebiendo.
We haven't been drinking. We haven't been drinking.
¿Has estado trabajando?
Have you been working? Have you been working?
Las mujeres policía han estado deteniendo asesinos durante 3 horas.
Policewomen have been detaining murderers for 3 hours. Policewomen have been detaining murderers for 3 hours.
Él ha estado durmiendo.
He has been sleeping. He has been sleeping.
Ellos no han estado pescando.
They haven't been fishing. They haven't been fishing.
Yo he estado estudiando.
I've been studying. I've been studying.
Te he estado esperando.
I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you.
He estado leyendo durante 3 horas.
I've been reading for 3 hours. I've been reading for 3 hours.
Yo he estado jugando al tenis.
I've been playing tennis. I've been playing tennis.
Ella ha estado viendo la tele.
She's been watching TV. She's been watching TV.
Yo no he estado jugando al tenis.
I haven't been playing tennis. I haven't been playing tennis.
Yo he estado viendo una película.
I've been watching a movie. I've been watching a movie.
¿Has estado tú bailando en la discoteca?
Have you been dancing at the disco? Have you been dancing at the disco?
Él no ha estado jugando con el paraguas.
He hasn't been playing with the umbrella. He hasn't been playing with the umbrella.
¿Habéis estado trabajando con el ordenador?
Have you been working with the computer? Have you been working with the computer?
Ella ha estado leyendo un libro.
She has been reading a book. She has been reading a book.
Nosotros no hemos estado peleando.
We haven't been fighting. We haven't been fighting.
¿Has estado corriendo?
Have you been running? Have you been running?
Los niños han estado oyendo música.
The children have been listening to music. The children have been listening to music.
Ella ha estado durmiendo.
She's been sleeping. She's been sleeping.
Nosotros no hemos estado viendo la televisión.
We haven't been watching TV. We haven't been watching TV.
Estabas hablándole cuando te vi.
You were talking to him when I saw you. You were talking to him when I saw you.
¿Estabas tú riendo?
Were you laughing? Were you laughing?
Yo estaba saltando.
I was jumping. I was jumping.
Ella estaba corriendo.
She was running. She was running.
Ellos estaban jugando cuando llegaste.
They were playing when you arrived. They were playing when you arrived.
Él estaba conduciendo cuando le llamamos.
He was driving when we called him. He was driving when we called him.
El pasado mes, ¿dónde estabas trabajando?
Last month, where were you working? Last month, where were you working?
Mi perro no estaba jugando.
My dog wasn't playing. My dog wasn't playing.
Ellos no estaban cocinando.
They weren't cooking. They weren't cooking.
La semana pasada, el lunes, nosotros estábamos estudiando historia.
Last week on Monday we were studying history. Last week on Monday we were studying history.
Me desperté y ella estaba viendo la televisión.
I woke up and she was watching TV. I woke up and she was watching TV.
Yo estaba corriendo.
I was running. I was running.
Él estaba cantando cuando me fui a la cama.
He was singing when I went to bed. He was singing when I went to bed.
Cuando le vi, él estaba llorando.
When I saw him, he was crying. When I saw him, he was crying.
¿Qué estabas haciendo ayer por la mañana?
What were you doing yesterday morning? What were you doing yesterday morning?
Nosotros estábamos escuchando música cuando ella gritó.
We were listening to music when she screamed. We were listening to music when she screamed.
¿Estabas tú durmiendo?
Were you sleeping? Were you sleeping?
Ellos nos estaban pintando el muro.
They were painting the wall for us. They were painting the wall for us.
Tú estabas estudiando cuando te vi.
You were studying when I saw you. You were studying when I saw you.
Ayer, a las 10, nosotros veíamos la televisión.
Yesterday at 10 we were watching TV. Yesterday at 10 we were watching TV.
Cuando él llegó, ella estaba escuchando música.
When he arrived, she was listening to music. When he arrived, she was listening to music.
Ella estaba nadando.
She was swimming. She was swimming.
Nosotros estábamos jugando cuando tú llegaste.
We were playing when you arrived. We were playing when you arrived.
Cuando lo vi, él estaba estudiando.
When I saw him, he was studying. When I saw him, he was studying.
¿Qué estabas haciendo ayer a las 8?
What were you doing yesterday at 8? What were you doing yesterday at 8?
Él llamó por teléfono mientras nosotros escuchábamos música.
He called on the phone while we were listening to music. He called on the phone while we were listening to music.
¿Estabas comiendo?
Were you eating? Were you eating?
Nosotros no estábamos hablando.
We weren't talking. We weren't talking.